Avalanche. You know, we're doing that in his guitar, and I've started toying around with it and started to see if I could work in melodies while I do it. So we've got several songs like that now. You know, it's been the hardest thing. I've been working on that for about 5 years, and now it's starting to come together, just barely. So, it's got a nice, bouncy, quirky feel to it. So, I'm all about that.
The fun part about capos, and it's I play harmonica too.
Oh yeah.
So the fun thing about harmonicas and capos in general is if you put the capo in the wrong place, you pick the right harmonica but you put the capo in the wrong place, or put the capo in the right place but you pick the wrong harmonica.
Too much to remember. No, I got to take credit for this. She had the capo in the right place, and I just went with the wrong spot. So.
Oh. Well,
that was big of you.
No worries.
I'd already taken blame.
No worries, but I know that feeling. Like there's when you're up on stage and you're trying to, you know, to entertain is one thing. You know, like if I thought I would just have to get up there and play.
Yeah.
People just want to come and hear me play. That's it. You know, but you really have to entertain too, you know, and that's the hard part, is like having the entertainment.
The charisma
part.
that backs up.
Create some energy and some interaction, and yeah, certainly not just about playing. You got to make a connection.
Yeah, I was telling a story about having an anxiety attack on stage, of having stage fright. I think my sister-in-law was telling me that she took this one type of medication. I said, "Oh, that's the stuff that they give for people who get stage fright." You know, it's. I realized that like all the classically trained a lot of classically trained musicians actually take this stuff to like keep from getting stage fright on stage. Yeah.
There was one, I can't remember now what it's called, but there was an herbal supplement that one of my roommates in college, who's also a musician, would take before her. They would call them juries, which was your end of the year performance, where you got your grade for performing, and she would take that right before, because it was like a calming herbal supplement.
Kava.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. It's supposed to relax you, but you know, so I was playing some. I think it was an open mic in Philly deal, and had like 4 or 5 cups of coffee or something prior to getting on stage, and I got up there, and it isn't like when the people are all talking and blah blah blah, and you know, but when they stop talking, and you realize they're
listening to me.
That happened. Like all of a sudden, it got quiet. It was one of those things where I had to do the finger picking thing, like you know, and my hand like stopped working.
It's a hoof all of a
It's
sudden.
like, and I'm trying to sing and play, and it was like my hand was shaking while I was trying to play. Like I realized, do not drink 6 cups of coffee before you get up on stage. It just doesn't work.
All in
A lot of times you can be totally composed mentally, but then your hands, your facilities they're just not going to come to you. And we found that the more we do our songs, the more we do it, we don't really deal with that anymore. I mean, if these songs we've done so many times now that it just becomes less and less of an issue.
You're probably going to mess up, so you just got to go with it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I remember, like when something like that would happen, you know, and it would be like, oh no, you know, no, but you know, it's not that big of a deal. It happens all the time. So. Yeah, so tell people while we can now where you're going to be playing, when you have coming up, where they can find your music. So that we know, everybody that's listening, maybe they just joined us, and they can find you at Tortoise and Hair.
Tortoise and Hair, Hair, and the and is written out. So tortoiseandhair.com is our official website, and from there we have links to
iTunes, Amazon. You can just look us up. If you look up our album Front Row Seat on iTunes, you'll find us. You can find us on Amazon the same way.
Baby.
Yeah, CD Baby.
Schedule. What do you have coming up that people would know about anything like that?
Well, as soon as we go back, let's see, but the first thing we've got is our gig at Divine Wine Bar.
Okay.
Great place in Dunwoody, Georgia, on next Friday.
Next Friday?
We're playing a little outside concert in Marietta called the Marietta Brown Bag Lunch. That's going to be the last Thursday in Marietta. And now I'm wishing I had my calendar in front of me.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Anyway, in case you just joined us, you're listening to Acoustic Songs Live, and we have Tortoise and Hare in the studio. Adrian and Dustin Cottrell, they came from Atlanta, Georgia. Sounds like northern Atlanta, to come up to play here in the studio in Washington. And what song would you like to do for us?
Next is a song called Lady Midnight, which we recently had our album reviewed, and Wally Haskell said that this one was lyrically his favorite. So it's basically about, I tend to get paranoid at night when I'm by myself, and it's about no matter how strongly you believe in yourself, sometimes that voice in the back of your mind is saying some things that you shouldn't listen to, and yet you just can't help it. So this is called Lady Midnight. Lady Midnight, long-time friend, comes to talk with me again. Little whispers echo out as she sows her seeds of doubt. And how long till this night will end? But you know that my mind begins to know when the night on knees found a home, and beside me settles down. She wraps me in a gown, and soon my thoughts are lost within its folds. Lady Midnight knows me well. She's perfected all the lyrics of her spell, and she sings into my ear words that I don't want to hear. But I listen all too well. She holds me in her tender arms, sheltering her pupil from alarm. When heavy hours stake their claim upon this weary frame, the grip begins to tighten all around. Don't know who I can believe. I try to make the best of me as I walk these steps of an